We're back with football again, and today we're going to be looking at the finals of the playoff, uh, where Nigeria sits handsomely against Congo DR. With me to discuss that is Mustafa Jinodu, Warifa Marcos. I'm still Afolabi Olaluku.
Okay, so to me, looking at that team, Nigeria is a one-man team, and this is what I mean. The whole game now of Nigeria, which has brought them to this level, is Osimhen. But the way it works is that Osimhen is pressing, man. When he doesn't have the ball, he presses even when it's high up in the field in the defense. When they get the ball, they try to do build up. He's pressing and he's disrupting. And when Nigeria is in attack, he's moving, he's holding up the ball, he's running through channels, he's doing everything, which is allowing Nigeria to bring its central defenders forward in a press and bring its CDM a little bit forward to make up for the fact that the wingers are not doing well for Nigeria. The wings are not doing. Chukwueze and Lukman, those guys, they're not important. Right now, the way Nigeria is scoring is through a press, which is led up front by Osimhen almost by himself. And then you've got Onyeka and the guy Ndidi in the midfield. Those guys are coming forward for a press. But it's a dangerous style of football if they meet a team that can counterattack and challenge the defense. Fortunately for them, they're meeting a Congo team, which is very solid in defense and sit back, but they're not known for pressing and counterattacking. Can you send a hold on? Go ahead, talk. I want to send the link to TK. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I want to just pivot off from what Mustafa was talking about, and I think I quite agree with him in the sense that the Osimhen's movement and pressing made it very difficult for the Gabonese defense to track his runs and his general play. And when it got to a stage when Nigeria's quality on the bench, because I think the Gabonese team got tired, and the kind of players we are bringing from the bench, they didn't have the kind of quality that we're bringing from the bench. So when it got to that stage, a lot of the Nigerian midfielders, like the Ndidi, who is a central defensive midfielder, became more brave. He started to push forward. You could see how he was trying to link Osimhen directly from his position, because by that time, Iwobi himself was jaded. So you could see that they understood that what Osimhen wanted was low balls into the right inside channel. And his goals came from that side, low balls into the right inside channel. Once the keeper came out, he just played a diagonal pass under the keeper. And that was how he scored the 2 goals he scored, basically. So I think the midfielders are understanding the kind of balls Osimhen needs. And the only shame was that in the first half, where most of the wingers were crossing the ball into the box, Osimhen wasted a lot of headed opportunities. They were able to find him with the crosses, but he kept heading them wide. That's what I feel. I don't know what you think about the match, Awari.
Okay, that match of yesterday, I think the Super Eagles, mostly in the second half, they really made use of their midfield. And like you said, in Didi and what is it called? The other defensive midfielder, Onyeka, they played that like creative midfielders because, like you said,
exactly.
they laid the ball. A very perfect pass of a creative midfielder to Osimhen. But the thing is that I heard Didi is suspended for the match against DRC Congo. So now the coach needs to look for somebody else that is defensive minded and has creativity in his head and that can return as he can play, go forward and return to cover up. So if he can get that, I think we'll have a good game. Then we all know that Osimhen is never say die, no matter what. He's 90 minutes, he's very active. That is a plus for us. Then for one other thing, for the Super Eagles, our goalkeeper, I think the goalkeeper trainer need to talk to Nwabali, because I don't know Nwabali thinks he's playing SS3 football or what. You don't take that kind of chances, because if, like yesterday's match, when we were winning, I think 3-1, by then it was 3-1, they almost gave out a goal from Aubameyang. If they had scored that goal, it would have been 3-2. So we don't need those such type of things. This is right now is business football. Let's go out there, like Mustafa said, let's go for mass attack, mass defense. So I think the coach has to study his players. And also, you should try and get a good backup for what they call it will be, because the DRC Congo, they are very good and they are energetic. Like this guy, the former Manchester United player, Wan-Bissaka. is there, and I believe there are some also what's it called, professionals that are playing there. So Nigeria shouldn't take them for granted. Every match that we are playing right now is a finals. So if the coach can get it right tactically, I think we should get a good result from them.
Yeah, and also we have to remember this. Let's look at Congo. These guys, people forget they did it quietly. They made it to the semifinals of the last Nations Cup, and this is something interesting about Congo. In their group matches, they drew all of their matches. I think they drew with Morocco. They draw. This is a defensive team. They don't give up goals. Look at them. They held Cameroon, which has a good creative midfield and attack, to 0 goals. They don't give up goals, and even though they don't have the same firepower as Nigeria, I believe that they play collective football, which means they understand each other as a team better than the Nigeria does, but they just don't have the explosive forward power. I think the main difference, though, is going to be Osimhen. I think that without Osimhen, that game can go to penalty shootout. Nigeria versus Congo.
Yeah.
But I think because of the way he plays dirty and disruptive, he's going to, even though they have a strong defense, he's going to find ways to unlock their defense. So I'm going to predict that that's what's going to happen. But we need to watch out for Congo because Congo draws a lot of matches, and that game can very easily go to penalty shootout. What are your thoughts, Afalabi? Then we'll go to TK.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. The Congolese team is very organized, defensively very astute. You could see their game against Cameroon yesterday. They didn't play any fancy. They played functional. They were disciplined. They closed the central spaces and forced Cameroon to be crossing the ball from the wings. And then they dealt with the central area. So it was difficult for Cameroon. I think they're a very efficient counter-attacking team. Where we can really find joy is the movement of Osimhen tends to cause defenders problems. His pressing and his movement. And then again, we should instruct our wingers, instead of trying to play like strikers, they should play the ball into the box. Osimhen is very good in the box. Cross the ball into the box and take advantage of his skill set. I think those are the areas where we can hurt Congo. And when the longer the match goes, I think one of the reasons why Nigeria won yesterday's game was the strength of our bench. We have squad depth. The quality of players we are bringing from the bench was no match for the Gabonese players. We have
I forgot about that.
We have a lot of useful substitutes on the bench that can change the course of the game. I mean, you saw the guy that came in yesterday and scored the goal, as well as the likes of Aroko Dari, Akko Adams, and the likes of them. So we have the squad depth. So if we are settled, if we play well, and we're able to take advantage of Osimhen's skill set, I think we can beat them. Although it looks like it will be a low-scoring game, though, because this Congolese, they're all about defending and keeping a clean sheet.
Maybe 2-1
and when they score, if they score, they do it through build-up and combination passing. They don't have a number 9, but they pass with each other. They create goals by very good passes, especially diagonal passes amongst themselves, and they're able to find holes. They play a little bit like tiki-taka a little bit. What are your thoughts, Mr. TK? But like you said, I think it's going to be low scoring. Nigeria 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-0. Go ahead, TK.
Yeah, definitely. At DR Congo, they know how to hold firm under pressure, showing excellent defense. So it's going to be a very interesting way of unlocking that Congolese defense from Nigeria. And the only way, as Mr. Folabi said, that they need to understand how to just put the balls in the box. Put the balls in the box, because if you're gonna try and find players in that low block, it's not gonna help. And you have an Osimhen who's physical. And another way to unlock that defense is classic football. Play the ball, switch the ball to a low pressure area, drag defenders to that side, have an Osimhen run. The way he runs, his spacing. You'll always find an Osimhen in the far post where you can just lob the ball, float the ball in. You don't even have to hit it with power. Float the ball into the box. You will always find an Osimhen. That's why I feel like yesterday Gabon got lucky. The goalkeeper was superb for Gabon. You see Osimhen, the first chance he got, he almost headed that ball in. So Nigeria need to be careful, but they need to be offensive. I mean, you throw everything at that game, even the kitchen sink.
All right. Just make sure you don't throw away the Amasi. That's an inside joke. If Nigerians don't know, it's South African milk. Make sure you drink. All right, what are your thoughts, Mr. Warif? Continuing.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game because right now the Congolese, they're also qualifying for the next stage of the playoffs. So we shouldn't go there and start trying to play psychedelic football like the Arsenal. And African football is physical, just like the South American football. And again, our players, they should try and not to hang on the ball. Don't try to dribble. They give you the ball, you trap, you look, you pass. Don't try to impress anybody. Already the coach knows who he wants to play and who he's playing. So if they want to dribble or make some run, you're inviting injuries to yourself. Then what is it called? Like I said before this time, the coach needs to look for a good replacement for Ndidi that can hold, not just holding the defensive midfield, but that can also play as an attacking midfielder to release the ball. Then I'll still say it again. What is it called? Nwabali. He should grow up because all these matches, scouts from Europe, they'll be there watching to see how they can make some signings, or even agents will be there. But with all this silly play, he wants to impress. I don't know who he wants to impress. It will not help him. So I think with the Super Eagles having that mentality in mind that this is the final, let's go for it. I think they are going to win the game 2-1, not being that it will be an easy one. It's going to be a tough game.
I think that goalkeeper feels his position is secure. Maybe we need to get a goalkeeper that will put him under a bit of pressure.
Yeah. Since he's a child.
And he needs to work on his reflexes.
But sorry to cut in. What I don't understand with Nwabali, you have a goalkeeper who plays abroad. I think he plays for Sevilla, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's South Africa. It's in South Africa.
Super Sports United.
Wait, I'm talking. Oh, he plays for the secondary goalkeeper for Nigeria. Plays in South Africa.
Secondary. Okay, the secondary plays for Sevilla.
Okay,
right about that. I thought you were referring to
Nwabali. The main goalkeeper plays for Chipa United.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's
between Nwabali and that ball. One second, between that Nwabali and that player. For me, it feels like the player who plays abroad has more, has more, what you call it? He has more experience. I think Nwabali is there because of the character. I think the coach also likes the
reserve keeper. Is he being used in his club? Or maybe he's sitting on the bench. Maybe that was the coach.
Oh yeah. Coach is looking at.
Maybe Nwabali is being used in his club.
The problem I have with Nwabali is his inability to deal with crosses. He's always looking jittery when balls come into the box.
Are you sure that this guy is
Onana.
Onana is not his twin?
Yes, probably Onana may be his goalkeeper trainer. Who knows?
and you see that DRC, and when you check how DRC Congo won that game, they won it from a set piece.
Yeah, it was from a corner.
If DRC Congo fight for set pieces, it's going to be a very difficult situation, and he's not quick on his feet.
Yeah,
not bad.
And again, Nigeria, they should avoid penalties.
Yeah. Quickly, you know who would have caught that cross that those guys made? You have to be tall to get it. The cross to DRC. You know who would have got it? Remember that guy that used to be the goalkeeper for Holland? That tall guy. You need someone like that.
Van der Sar.
If Van der Sar,
yes.
He would catch those corner kicks in the sky. I don't know how he did it, man. But that was going to be a tough corner for them to stop, though, because it was placed carefully for Congo. Sorry, what were you going to say, Mr.
And it's like goalkeepers are scared nowadays.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Mr. Warif?
Then Victor Osimhen should play safe because Galatasaray, they need him. Yeah. Should play safe. So I think with that, it's just to work on the midfield. Our coach need to try and begin to build somebody that will understudy this guy. What's his name? This Nigerian midfielder. His name is keeping my creative midfielder.
Iwobi.
Iwobi. Yeah, Iwobi. Alex Iwobi. He should try and get somebody that will study him so that our midfield, let's not just depend on Iwobi alone.
Okay, yeah, that's true. All right, so we're gonna head out soon. Last thoughts, Mr. TK.
Yeah, for me, last thoughts. Great win for DRC Congo. They did a surprise over Cameroon, last-minute win. And for Nigeria's sake, deal with set pieces, and you can actually win this game. And do not try to play fancy football. I mean, it's a final.
Yeah.
Finals are not won by fancy football.
Yes.
Nigeria needs to play a high press, man. They need to play a high press.
It's all about the results.
Yeah.
They need to play a high press.
Fancy football.
What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
If you have to be ugly, go ugly.
Yeah, I think I agree with TK. It's all about the result. And like you said, the kind of problems that Osimhen was creating, pressing, running into space and giving the dragging defenders and giving them all sorts of issues. I think the other two forward men should join him in the press. I think if they can do this, it will help them a lot. And I think basically if Nigeria, because after all the talk about wages not being paid, them asking for money, I think Nigeria played very professionally yesterday. They forgot about all that.
Yeah.
And they stuck out their neck and they were ready to die for the country yesterday. A lot of players that I didn't even expect would go and begin to stick out their neck and go into conflicts. They were really very daring yesterday. They spilled their last blood. I think they should take in that same mentality into the Congolese game. And if they do that, they would win. But I think it would be a low-scoring game because our Congolese team, they're so defensive. I saw them against Cameroon. They won't just come out.
And they are
Just
strong.
stay in their defense and just keep, booting balls out.
Yeah. All right, so take us out of Falabi. Good show.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant show with me discussing Nigeria's World Cup qualifying playoff final against Congo and the analysis on both sides, what the Congolese bring to the table, what Nigeria has to offer. And from TK with his brilliant analysis, Mustafa with his great insights, and Warifa, Marcos, and myself will be back again.
You mean me with the greatest jokes of all time.
Insights.
Talk to you guys on Sunday after the match, as soon as the match is over. Okay, bye.
Okay, when is the game?
All right.
When is it?
Sunday.
Sunday, okay.
Sunday.
All right.